Welcome to Bulldog Sports Insider. I'm Emma Jones.
And I'm Adam Walters here in Studio 604B at Hart County High School, here to give you this week's Bulldog Sports News.
Welcome to our show. Today we're going to be talking about wrapping up softball season last week. We're going to be talking about football's game last Friday against Oconee. And we're going to be talking about some upcoming basketball news. We're going to get started with softball. Last Friday, softball fell to Ringgold in round 2 of the state playoffs and ended their season. They finished out their season 18-12 and region 8-7. It was a good season for the Lady Dogs. Adam, how do you feel?
They did a really great job throughout the year. Coming into the year, they started off really hot, and it's been a different year for sure, but I think they pushed through the adversity that they had, and they had a strong showing. They are going to lose 4 seniors on the team: Gabby, Kinsley, Zoe, and Jalindra. They were huge parts of their success this year. We want to say thank you to those girls. You guys did an amazing job. That's not the way that they wanted their season to end, but they're looking to regroup and then come back next year and hopefully push for a region championship and then a deeper state playoff run.
Yes, congratulations to the softball team this year for making the state playoffs, and it's the first time since 2007. Now we're going to get into some football news. The Bulldogs are heading into a bye week, coming off a tough loss versus Oconee last week. The Bulldogs came out really strong in the first half. They looked really good versus Oconee, had an early 7-3 lead going in at halftime, but then after halftime, the Bulldogs came back out with some struggles. Adam, what's your take?
Starting off the game, they came out hot. They were extremely fast. They were extremely physical. We had a Whitworth to Barong connection for the touchdown. Beautiful pass, by the way. Austin, that was a QB1 throw. I loved it. Back of the end zone. But second half, things were not going well. And I have to point it to 2 main things that I said coming into this game. If you cleaned it up, you would have won. First half, it was clean. The second half, they had some mistakes. They had some struggles. And that's turnovers and penalties. The Bulldogs started to turn the ball over in the second half. They started getting penalties, and that cost them their momentum. It costed everything, and it allowed for Oconee to put up 27 straight unanswered points. And that's what really got them in the game. Those 2, the turnovers and the penalties, were momentum killers for the Bulldogs. So moving forward, if they can clean that up, they're a deadly team, and they're a dangerous team, because we saw what they could do against Jefferson, which is arguably the top team in Quad A, and we saw what they could do against Oconee, which is now a 6-0 team. So I think if they can do that, moving forward in the season, they can be top dogs. They can have a deep state playoff run. But if they don't clean that up, I think we're going to be looking at some struggles in games.
I definitely agree. I definitely think there was a lot of small mistakes that could have been corrected and possibly had a different outcome. I think Oconee, being in our region, not just in football but in a lot of sports, is going to be a new rival. I can kind of feel a lot of rivalries building up against Oconee in multiple sports now that they've been added to the region. It was a very eye-opening game, very intense game in the first half. Second half, not so much. But next Friday, after we return from the bye week, the Bulldogs are going to go to Stevens County to take on them, and they are fresh off a loss versus Franklin County.
They lost within the last 5 seconds, I believe. So they started region, they're 0-2. So they are definitely looking to come out. They're fiery to get that first win. I will say their passing attack is very solid. I believe his name is Carter. His last name's Carter. Receiver for them. I think he's a Liberty commit. He is a very, very talented receiver. He's got a lot of receiving yards on the year already, so he's a name to watch on that side of the ball. They're going to be looking to get their first region win, and the Dogs are looking to bounce back after their loss against Oconee.
So, like we said, next week we'll be at Stevens County, and that'll be all for football news this week.
Now we're going to get into some basketball news. Basketball started practice on Monday. Their season is officially underway. They're kicking it off. They're looking to come back. I believe it was 2 years ago. You had both the boys and the girls team compete in the state championship. So this year, they're looking to replicate that success. The boys team and the girls team, they are both looking to get region championships, and they're looking to make deep playoff runs. Now, last year, the boys team, they were ranked very high. At one point in the season, they were first in state, had some struggles later on in the season. So they're looking to bounce back this year, and they're looking to bounce back specifically on the first game, which is going to be Saturday, November 21st at Cherokee Bluff. They're trying to start their season off 1-0 and then go 1-0 every single game.
This is going to be a really big season for them. A lot of the big players have finally aged up and become seniors. This is going to be like the test year to see if all the work they put forward these past 4 years are going to pay off. Very exciting year. Really excited for region play this year. Always excited for the Franklin games. Always excited for the Stevens games. And again, like we mentioned earlier, Oconee is becoming a new rival in the other sports we've saw. So we're hoping that becomes always a good game for us too.
You mentioned that there are some players that have aged up and then they're starting to really grow and then show off their full capabilities. We actually had several players chosen for the preseason all-state teams. We had 2 Bulldogs on the second team. We had Tanai Alexander for the girls and then Taj Johnson for the boys. This was put on by Kyle Sandy over at Sandy Spiel. He is a high school basketball writer, if you didn't know that. And then there was another Bulldog that got first team.
So I'm going to pivot off that, and my Freak of the Week, it'll be Spud Webb, made preseason first team All-State, and this past week he received 2 offers, one from Emmanuel and one from Fort Valley State. It's going to be a huge factor this year for the Bulldogs. He's a senior and a big leader of the team. He's been a leader even since he was an underclassman. I think he's going to be a huge factor this year, and we're hoping for the best of luck for them. It's a big-time player, and congratulations on being my Freak of the Week.
Yeah, I love that pick. He's a guy, super athletic. I'm enjoying seeing the offers. I think that he deserves even more than that. Buckway or no way. We're going to pivot, and now I'm going to go into my Freak of the Week this week. I'm choosing Red Campbell of the softball team. She's the starting pitcher of the softball team. She can also hit some dingers. She was a huge leader for the team this past year. She's only a junior, so she's got 1 more year left. She's an exciting player to watch, really electric whenever it comes to being on the softball field. She was a key part in leading the team to the playoffs for the first time since 2007. So Red Campbell, my pick for Freak of the Week.
I love that pick. I got to watch a lot of softball games this year. I filmed a lot of them, called a lot of them. Red's a really deserving candidate. She led the team very well, especially being a junior. She was a big factor in them making the state playoffs this year. Very versatile. You need her on the mound, she'll pitch. At bat, she's great, and she'll even go out in the field when somebody else pitches. Very versatile player and very deserving candidate for Freak of the Week. We have no picks this week due to a region bye week throughout the region for football. Thank you for watching, and make sure to follow us at Bulldog Sports Insider on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we'll see you here on Bulldog Sports Insider next week.